Hello! Today I want to make for you these fun little graduation invitation cards that I created. I went on YouTube and like every other mom who has their child graduating from high school, I wanted to make my own little invitations, which you can see here I created. When I went on YouTube, I found that almost everybody was using Cricuts and doing all these fancy cuts and scores and all this other stuff, and I just don't have a Cricut, and I didn't want to go ahead and buy a Cricut just for this one invitation. So this is a much easier, simplified version of an invitation, and I tried to make it as simple as possible. And you can see I made a couple of different ones. I added these little gold, I don't know, doodads, I don't even know what they're called, to the bottom of this one, and I can't decide which one I like better, if I like it with the doodads or without, so I'll decide as I go along. But let's get started so that we can quickly get moving along. The first thing I did was I wanted to make it simple. So I bought these A2 envelopes, and they're just your regular card size envelopes. So I bought the A2 envelope. So everything that I have done will make it fit within this A2 envelope. The second thing is I bought a package of black cardstock. It's just a little bit thicker than regular paper, but I got it at Joann's. It came in a pack of 100, I think for $4.99. It was pretty inexpensive. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I need to fit it inside the A2 envelope, is I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half. And so I need to make my cut right down the center in half. And I already have preset my measurements, but you can just go and measure. Since we're doing the 8.5 by 11, it would be 4 1/4. You can see I have the measurements here. I actually already measured out, and it stops right at the orange mark. For me, the end of the orange is 4 1/4. So then you can just go through and you can cut your paper, and you see you have 2 long sheets. So you'll get 2 invitations out of each 8.5 by 11. The second thing I did then was I have the this long one, and because of the way I like for the class of 2018 to show up at the bottom, I did cut 1 inch off of my cardstock. So here I just literally went in and cut 1 inch off. You can see there's my cut mark. So I went to the 1 inch mark, marked it up, and cut it off. So then I have this sheet that is in there. So now you'll see it will fold over. And I literally then just fold it and crease it as hard as I can so that it makes a nice envelope fold. Sorry, that was a loud bang. The second thing to make my hat is I took some more of the black paper, and I literally just cut it in 3 inch by 3 inch squares using my measurement. And then I also took some of my leftover cream paper that I had for the inside, and I made that 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I just cut the squares like that. Then after I cut the squares, I just took my glue stick, which actually I stole out of my daughter's school supplies, and I glued the 2 together. And you can see I eyeballed it. These 2 aren't the best. You can trim them up and make them a little more even and do it however you want. Then after I did that, I went back to my card, and I again took the glue stick, and I decided to glue the corners in a diagonal format for the invite. And once I put the glue on the back, I decided which way I wanted to do it. Now I chose these colors because my son has been going to a military academy, and their graduation colors are black and gold. Actually their school colors are black and gold, but he will be wearing a black cap and gown, and they will have a gold tassel. So now you can see I've placed my hat on here, and so it's ready to go. The next thing I did is inside my package with these A2 envelopes were some A2 cards, which were the cream color. And what I did is just on my regular computer in bold or in Word, I went and I just designed a little thing. It's literally, this is a straight line type, and I put out the information that I wanted. So now here you can see I'm going to glue this in, and you'll see the class of 2018 will show up just like the other ones because I had cut the card part short. So again, just adding some glue. And some of these I started using a glue stick and my hot glue gun just because I had that out. But I just felt that the glue, I was worried in the mail that the glue might actually melt in the heat because we're in Florida. So I switched over to this glue stick. And again, for me, as always, simple, easy mom with a million things to do, I just eyeball it. And once I get it in, I get it the way that I want it to go. And so then now it's centered there in the middle. When you fold it, you'll see that it does say the class of 2018. You can see it showing up. So the last thing I have to do is to work on my tassel. And for my tassel, I made all my own. Very simple. I just bought this cross stitch thread. I picked out gold to match the color of what I was working on. And what you do is I wanted it to be very similar in size to the cards and the hats that I made here. So I went ahead and I have one extra one. Super simple. You just hold a little bit of a string out. You wrap around however many times you want it to be. And again, I just eyeballed each one. I wish now I would have counted and made them all the same, but I did not do that. I just up and quickly wrapped and went around. Once I have it wrapped around here, I want it to stay, so I take the first string and I pull underneath. You can see I'm just pulling it underneath the thread so it comes out here. And then with this one, I am going to, on the back side, go underneath. Okay, it's really not that hard, I don't know why. And now I have these two strings and I'm literally just going to tie a knot at the top. So you can see the two strings are there. I'm going to tie a quick knot. And when I did these, I had to make 18 for my party invitations. So I made everything at once. 18 tassels, 18 cardstocks. So I did it more of a little bit of an assembly line. So now I have this tied here. What you can do is just fold this little card. And then you have your tassel. And again, because it's still rounded at the bottom, I just take my scissors and I cut it right here. And it makes it the length that you would like. Then I go back for one more step. I grab my thread again. And now I'm just going to make this little center part that makes it look a little bit more like a tassel. So again, I leave a little bit of a string hanging out so that I can tie a knot at the end. Hold that down, and again, I just wrap it however many times I think about. If I was to do this again, I would probably make everything consistent and count how many times I loop each one. But that would be for, I guess, when my daughter graduates in about 8 years. So now you just go ahead and you tie another knot with these two strings that you left hanging out. And this one's just a tad bit harder because the strings are smaller and you have all these other little strings that also want to get in on the action. So, and of course, because I'm trying to do this one fast, it's really acting up for me. But let me just slow down a bit, take a deep breath, and there we go. So again, just a quick knot. I always do it twice just because I don't want it to come out. I am going to be putting these in an envelope and mailing them, so I just don't want anything to come apart, or otherwise the pizzazz of when they open the invitation just won't be there. So now I have that knot there. I'm going to go ahead and cut off each end so that it's not showing up. Get rid of my bits and pieces. And then now I do pull out my glue gun again. I just found that this was easy. I tried doing it with the glue. It wasn't working. I kept all of mine consistent with the tassels hanging off on the one side. So I just put a little bit of glue in the center here. Don't worry, anything with hot glue will be cleaned up afterwards, so don't worry about if it's too big or too small. And then I stick my little strings in there. And then I bought these little gold medallions, emeralds, I don't know what you want to call them, little doodads. And I just want to cover up the end of the string. So I stick that on there, push it down a bit, and then afterwards you can just rub around and you can get the extra hot glue off. It comes off pretty easily. So now I have this one done with the tassel. I'll clean them up just a little bit more once they dry. Open up, and then like I said, I wanted just a little more flair, and so I took another one of my little gold jewels and I put it down here, and then a second one over here just to showcase the class of 2018. And as you can see, very simple, just done on my home printer, my computer. I used Word to lay it out, made all the information there, put in everything, slowly printed them. I had to make 18, but I'm very excited for my son's graduation. I'm thrilled, and I can't wait for his graduation and then our party. So again, if you'd like to try these, super simple. No Cricut needed, just some paper and some time. I would say from start to finish, I made 18, and it took me about 2.5 hours, but I did it more of an assembly line. It actually has taken me longer to do this one for the video. So I hope you like it. I hope it's something you can try, and good luck and happy graduation to everyone who's graduating this year and all the future years. Bye-bye.